I learned about Jeremy's crash early in the morning on January 26th. We had gone to bed at midnight like we usually do. 1 o'clock the phone rang and it was the hospital calling. And they said Jeremy had been in a wreck and we need to get down there as soon as we could. So Janelle had woken up by that time and our daughter Michelle was about 14 at the time, sleeping downstairs. So we woke her up and told her we were just going to the hospital to see what was going on. And we arrived at the hospital to find out that Jeremy had been killed in a crash along with his friend James. And there was not much information at first about what had happened. It turned out, we found out later that he had stopped in the median to pull a U-turn and waited until the cars went by. They testified that he had stopped, and when he thought the coast was clear, he pulled out and was rear-ended by a Corvette that another witness estimated was doing about 130 miles an hour. And the car burst into flames. Jeremy was cut out by a passerby who couldn't reach the seatbelt because of the flames, but was able to cut his seatbelt and pull him out. James was not able to be pulled out of the car, and he perished in the car. Jeremy died about a half an hour later at the hospital. Well, how I felt when I learned that Jeremy died, I remember that I screamed, and I think my wife screamed. It was like someone just ripped my heart right out of my body. Certainly the toughest moment I've ever lived in my life.
When I learned that it was an impaired driver, I just thinking back to all the times that so many people drive and nothing happens, but then it happens to you. It happens to your son who was just starting his life. It just tears your heart out. You want to fight back at him, but then the court tells you, well, it can only go this far. And you hope that the guy suffers every day thinking about what has done by drinking and driving. But also learning to forgive the man who caused this crash and killed our son and his friend. But never forgetting.
I was really conflicted initially because in my youth I had driven drunk. And so I certainly couldn't throw any stones in this case. It brought home to me the impact that you think you're in control, you think everything's okay, and then all of a sudden it's not, but by the time you figure it out, it's too late. The DUI Impact Center helped me cope with the legal ramifications of the case, which dragged on for a couple of years. Never went to trial. He took a plea bargain before the trial started. But I don't know that I could have kept my sanity without them explaining every step of the way what was going on and why it was going to take so long to go through this.
Tim Lighthoff.
You know, you can have sympathy for someone who's lost a child, but until you've lost that child yourself, you just can't comprehend the pain.
I think the thing that I've taken away from this is, and I try to help people understand it, is you can't drink and drive and be in control. And I ask people, just if you do nothing else the rest of your life, if you just make the decision that if you take a drink of alcohol, you're not going to drive a car, because there's no way you can see the ramifications of what happened until it's way too late, and then you've got to live with that the rest of your life.